Welcome back to Arkansas. I will refrain from trying to bust out into winter wonderland, but at this particular moment, that's what it feels like. With some shooting in the background. I don't know if you could hear that or not. I'm not sure if it's ducks or what. But since my last video, been a little bit of a change. The structure that I mentioned being a off-grid classroom, microscopy lab and everything, it's still kind of going to be that, but I've done some work. You can see some propane tanks that I've gotten. They went on sale. I had been essentially working on this to be that type of a hub. You can see a bunch of cardboard I need to get rid of. And then I had an RV over here that was going to be my living quarters. And I realized that between the two structures, I was trying to create, build, and maintain two different propane systems for heat and cooking, 3 different solar systems. The primary, the one that was going to be here that I was migrating towards, but in the RV it had a 110 system, a 30 amp 110 system, as well as the 12 volt system I was kind of doing separately. 2 different water systems, 2 different composting toilet and or gray water systems I was trying to build, and it's just doing a lot of duplication, which at the moment just seemed unnecessary. So while I'm still going to be doing my microscopy in this building, I'm still going to be doing my library in there, and you know, we may do some classes. It's big enough for us to sit around like in somebody's living room. It won't be a formal classroom, at least for a little bit, but kind of a kitchen table, living room type, sharing or classroom. Might be able to do that, but I'm really focusing on this building, making it living quarters as well. But and part of that is because I'm just spending so much time and effort and money on all this duplication that I wasn't getting at a point that I could put a lot of energy into the land. And after all, the land and growing food was the primary reason for buying this property. So there's that. And it's progressing. This is our first snow this year, maybe our only decent snow. This little area where this planter, what I've got laid out, actually, because of the lay of the land, it's actually going east-west. So east is that way, west is that way, to the left. And I've got about a 20-foot area here, and this is where I'm thinking about putting a structure up that will have 3 different purposes. Kind of very permaculture. Everything does more than one thing. With the orientation, it'll have a slanted roof, which will have my primary solar system on it, or solar panels, simply because the building's so close to the trees that it gets shaded too much. And you see I'm getting much better production down there, but trying to get the wires from there all the way up here is a lot longer. Plus I got to cross the easement, which means I would have to dig it out. But right here at the moment seems to be some of the best sun availability close to the building. And with 20 foot wide, I should be able to get about 5 panels wide. Maybe if I can do the roof right, get 2 tiers. So there's about 10 panels, about 2,000 watts. And right now, with my needs, that would do pretty good. And then I can always expand on that. But with that slanted roof, it would also be a metal roof. Also do some rainwater collection, if for nothing else, at least for the garden and for chickens. If the structure is going to be tall enough to do all that, what am I going to use the space underneath for? I could use it for wood storage, but I don't have a wood stove. Although I am going to be getting into biochar, trying to learn and make some biochar. But probably the most reasonable thing early on is just move my chickens. So it'd be a chicken coop, rainwater catchment, and solar all at the same time. It makes kind of an odd layout, but it is what it needs to be. If we don't get too much sun here, then the next thing is the area immediately around this building. Still needs to do some leveling, because this will be the beginning of the garden. I'm going to try to really get this part intensive and get this really set up and rocking before I plant anywhere else. That's one of the things I've learned over the last few years, is a lot of people, when they get acreage, they try to use it all at the beginning, whereas you really need to start small and get intensive and make as full a use out of this area as you can before you expand. And then use the rest of it as I need. If I need some firewood, if I need some mushroom logs or something of that nature. But this little corner, if fully set up and rocking, I could do an awful lot right here. I could get a lot of water, I can get a lot of food, I can get a lot of solar power. This could keep me pretty busy. I mean, this is almost the size of my lot in Marion around my house, and I ate from that. I probably ate 80% from that and wasn't even really doing rainwater catchment or solar. So I can do a whole lot here. The solar systems I'm going to consolidate, but that will allow me to move all my batteries that I already have and the ones I'm building into one big system, and then I can go from that. The next phase, of course, is going to be this next terrace. I need to take down some trees, and then I'm going to try to level. So I'll have about a 30-degree bank or whatever the appropriate angle is here to try to keep erosion down. And I've done pretty good on the erosion, because the trees that I cleared, for the most part, I've got the trunks, but all the slash branches and everything, I just kind of piled up at the top of where it would start going down. And then if I got any soil, if I got any spent grains, whatever, I put in there, almost kind of doing a hugel mound, but not really, because it's not completely buried. But mainly it's a silt trap, habitat, windbreak, and then the wild blackberries are coming up, and there's a couple of fruit trees. There's some stuff I need to take out, winged elm I'm gonna need to take out, thin it out and manage it a little bit, but it's doing pretty good as a windbreak and helping with the erosion. But as this kind of goes around the hill, I'm going to try to flatten this as a terrace. A couple ideas here. I have put in some more gravel, so at least I can turn around without getting stuck. So it's a little bit of a driveway or parking space. I had considered back on the back side, about where the tree line is, putting some 2 or 3 shipping containers in. But trying to get, especially 40-foot shipping containers back in there is going to be a bit too much of a challenge, I think. And that's south. That's basically south. What I might be able to do is get maybe 2 20-foot shipping containers in this area, put one as close as I can, put one over here. I don't think I've got room for 3. If I did, I'd put 3. But if I do 2, and if I put one there, then I've got a breezeway in between. So I could have storage, I could have a roof on top, more solar panels, more rainwater catchment, that breezeway, a little bit of shade. But then if it ends about where this first little tree is, then this back area, which is south facing, could be the second part of the garden. So that would be like a middle level garden area here. Maybe could run some chickens through there. And I've still got, looking over kind of the valley area, got a little level area here, which I originally thought about maybe putting a cabin on. Still might consider doing that, tiny house cabin. And then this lower area could be cleared out, and initially, once it's cleared out, that's going to be some of the best soil on the property. Initially, I could even have the third part of a garden, pretty good sized garden there, but eventually that topsoil would probably come up here, and then that would be dug out as a pond with just a very, very small dam. I don't want to raise the level up very much because this is going downhill. If I raise the level up here, then of course it's going to back up. It's going to raise the level up there, and past that tree line a little bit is not my land. Without permission and coordination with the landowner, I don't want to flood part of his land. But I can dig down and make a pond in this area to capture water for irrigation, possibly for some aquaculture, for some fire suppression, things of that nature. And then that topsoil would come up to one of these other gardens to help build that up. Honestly, just doing from where that building is to there will probably keep me busy could easily keep me busy 5 to 10 years, especially if I don't have any help. And at the rate, the amount of time that I'm able to spend down here and get into big projects, that could be 20 years worth. It just is what it is. But my property goes all the way up to the top of the hill, and you might be able to see a little house up there that's just across the county road. There's a gravel county road, which is my main access. So I've got all of this and all of this more on that side that's completely wooded, that for the most part I'm going to try not to touch. So I have got plenty of room here to do a lot. Now, if I can be down here full time, and especially if I get some help, then all of this could be done. That could eventually be cleared, as bad as I would hate to do it. But that's kind of a southeast or east-southeast oriented slope. That would actually be, from a sun aspect, would be the best for gardening and for orchard. And I've got in my mind's eye that I could start at the top, start clearing it, start terracing it, and eventually put an orchard over there, maybe a U-Pick, membership only U-Pick, an instructional type area closer to the road. But we'll see. But I just wanted to put in just a little bit of a video, since I haven't put anything up in a little bit, and just, I don't know, just kind of been doing some soul searching. It seems like I've been trying to find a way to be a leader and an educator for quite a while, and it may very well be that maybe I'm not meant to be a teacher. I mean, people tend to gravitate to people who are good teachers, and not only do I not seem to have people gravitating towards me, I seem to be almost repelling them. So maybe maybe I need to come down from my high horse a little bit, quit trying to be a preacher or an evangelist and a teacher, and just focus on doing. Just you got the land, starting to maybe get a little bit of time again, a little bit. And while I've still got some physical capability, maybe I just need to focus on doing as much or more than trying to proselytize. We shall see.